Hotapu Gatekeepers. This video is a quick intro into some of the actual mysteries you learn in the Golden Beetle Gay Shamanism training for 2014-2015. A key feature of a shaman is the power of visions. To be spiritual, you have to be skilled at receiving and projecting visions. The spirit world speaks through images. That's why all spiritual work deals with art, with totems, with symbols. And that kind of thinking is a right brain excellence. So in order for you to be a shaman, in order for you to receive divine visions and project them for healing and for bending the elements of nature, you have to be able to have a strong right brain. Because we live in a white world, a white man's world, he is a left-brained creature. So living in this culture through the educational system programs all children to be left-brainers. And the left brain is the brain that's not spiritual. It is materialistic. So we have here on the screen a clip of an image from a book called Sir Alan Gardner's Egyptian Grammar. In the back of it is this section called determinatives, which are drawings at the end of Egyptian words that are silent. They have no pronunciation, but they reveal more meaning about the word. So they're like silent terminals to a word. Now, these determinatives were actually the technique used by the gay shamans of Kemet to develop the right brain. This is a symbol set of right brain magnification of how to speak to the spirit world. Through an image, you can collapse vast stores of information into a singularity. So instead of, when you're driving, them writing out a sign, pedestrians can walk here, they draw a picture of a person walking. And through that image, all of those thoughts are collapsed into one singularity. So a picture is worth 1,000 words. So let's give you a sense of how you will be trained in the Golden Beetle technology of visions. Let's pick a few of these by random. Let's try the first one here. You see a boat with an oar and this kind of table couch called a bier, B-I-E-R, bier, a kind of couch that you would lay a mummy on. So this is a ship, and this is the code for sailing along your destiny, because your mummy, meaning your eternal self, is on a journey in a boat, and it's on a journey of consciousness on the sea of awareness. So this image is saying, in one singularity fell swoop, may I live a life destined for me, always thinking of eternity. That the choice I make today, may I make this choice with my lover, with my husband, with my friends, with the thought that it will echo into eternity. That's how you collapse all those ideas into one thought. This one, next to it, shows the boat capsized. This is an image of the failed destiny, that you blew it. I have dealt with people in my work as a high priest at the edge of life. They're about to go into the West. You don't die, but you do translate or you transform. I've dealt with people who were in terminal cancer stages. And one thing they often say is, did I finish my work? Did I fulfill what I was sent here to do? And they always have a sense a nagging, haunting sense of yes or no. This glyph here tells you, don't blow it. Know why you're here on Earth, fulfill your mission, complete your task. Don't do things that throw off your destiny, that capsize your higher evolutionary callings. Stop that drinking. This is a symbol of, if you keep drinking, you keep drugging, and you keep having unsafe gay sex, you will capsize your destiny. You will drown. Things will go chaotic. So if you are a person with these kinds of issues, you are an addict, you drink too much, you smoke marijuana, I would have you go into this image, into a trance state, a meditation state, and see every time you smoke, this boat appearing, and you're under the water, capsizing, the stress, the trauma, the horror of a lonely, cold, watery death. And you keep repeating this image in your mind, in your right brain, through meditation, chanting, and drumming. And eventually your subconscious will absorb this shamanically, and whenever you try to smoke that marijuana, the image will pop into your head. So you're actually bending synapses, changing behavior, which is the goal of every single institution in society. What's the goal of schooling, of education? To affect human behavior. What's the goal of religion? To influence human behavior. What's the goal of the law? To influence and direct human behavior. That is the agenda of every single infrastructure and institution in any society. To direct behavior. The Kamau, the longest society ever in history, at least 5,000 years of continuous history. No people on Earth have that length. America's only, what, 400 years old? It's very, very short-lived. They were so long-lived in Kemet, in the Nile Valley, because of these images you see here. These are the images that are most effective at helping the citizens control their behavior. And that's why the Kamau never left the glyphs. They had other versions, Demotic and Coptic, but they never left the glyphs altogether. Let's try another one. Let's try this one here, number 5. This is the word Shu or Nifu, which means wind. This is code for a sail. This is a sail. It's code for breathing. The wind that you take in. This is our word for breathing yoga, because a sail is for propelling a boat. The boat often, FYI as a clue, means mind. So the way to control your mind is through the breathing, through lifting the sail. And this sail also means the word transits, as in astrology. A transit meaning, at birth, perhaps the planet Bennu Venus was in the twins of Gemini for you, and today it happens to be in the sign of the Lion. So it has transited or traveled to a certain position from your birth point today, on this date. So as the planets are moving and transiting, they're emitting what we call gift waves, psychic winds, or winds of energy. And these winds of energy affect you. You inhale them psychically. You inhale them subconsciously. And these winds of the transits of the moment, the positions of the planets of the moment, we inhale those energies, because you can't see wind, it's subtle, like chi, like life force, and they move your mind. They sail the boat of mind to a certain state of awareness. So this is the glyph for saying mind control is through breathing. And whenever you're breathing it under a certain starry configuration. And you are inhaling the subtle winds, what we call the cobras, or the subtle winds of those planets, into your subconscious psyche. And you can do that consciously to make your mind go in harmony with the transit, in harmony with the stars of that day. Many think that mind control is positive thinking. Just buckle down and think hard. Think positive. No. This glyph is saying to control your mind, control your breathing. Okay? Let's try this glyph here, number 8, which is called keru. It means oar of a boat. And this oar is symbol or code to the shaman for how to also direct the mind. To move a boat, you need a couple of things at least. You need a sail, and you definitely need an oar. Boat meant what? Your mind. It's the boat, like the brain that contains all of your thoughts. To move that boat, you need an oar or some kind of motor force. The oar is symbolic of heka, mantras, words of power. When you chant certain sounds, like if you chant the sound ach, 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 which is the word of power for the planet Bennu or Pluto, your mind will go in the direction of plutonic thoughts, the afterlife, psychic abilities, fears, overcoming the shadow within. You see? If you chant the sound jahun, 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 that is one chant to give power. Your mind will start moving and sailing towards the island of personal power. You see? So it's telling you, this sail tells you how to control the mind, how to control your thoughts. The oar tells you how to direct them. You see? So this oar can also mean positive thinking or affirmations or negative thinking. If you keep thinking negative thoughts, you're going to sail your mind towards the island of negativity. If you keep thinking positive thoughts, you keep rowing in that direction, you're going to land up on the shores of positive islands. So instead of saying to you all these words and letters, think positively, I simply have you meditate on one glyph. And you'll see that oar in your mind. You go into a hypnotic trance, an organic reverie state, and you see this oar, and you see a word of power on it, or you see an affirmation on it. And every time you see yourself rowing the boat, you hear the affirmation. It's a gift to be gay. It's a gift to be gay. And you see the boat rowing. It's a gift to be gay. To an island of beautiful men with rainbows and glitter abounding. It's a gift to be gay. A gift to be gay. You chant the word of power to bring the gay force to the world. Be'ech ba'ung. Be'ech ba'ung. Be'ech ba'ung. You chant that as you're seeing yourself sailing to the isle of beautiful men. And you'll come into a place of being proud of being a gay man, celebrating it, and unleashing its immense glittery rainbow force onto the world. Let's try this glyph here. This glyph is like a pedestal. It refers to actually creation. It refers to how in the beginning of the universe, in the what we call before the first time, there was nothingness. And then waves rose up. They formed from the nothing. The beginning was like water that had no waves to it. Just a blank kind of sea. Nothing in it, no motion. And then all of a sudden, through a thought, the Creator said, I want to create. That's a thought. In that instant, waves rose up like a pedestal, like this glyph here. And they rose up and began to create duality. So some things began to form out of formlessness and stabilize themselves while you put a vase on a pedestal. So let's say atoms began to form, and they took a form and it locked in, became stabilized like on a pedestal. You see? So this glyph reminds you of how all things that are, all forms, are a wave of energy that is stabilized more or less for a certain window of time, meaning its life cycle, its shelf life. And then it will recede back into the nothing. So we're made of dust, we form into human bodies, and at death we do what? We go back into dust like a wave receding back into formlessness. Instead of telling you all that in words, I have the shaman go into the spirit and just see this glyph. So your relationship with your lover is atop this pedestal. It is here now, but it will be gone eventually and take a new form. Your job will go through this. Your homes will go through this. Your friendships will go through this. It's just a wave. Let's try this glyph here, which is the glyph for a pillow stand. So you would put a pillow on top of this, and then you would fall asleep. And many Africans still use these kind of stands to this day in more rural African places. So if you imagine your head up here, that's your head would be there on your pillow rest. It looks like the sun rising over the horizon. So this pillow stand was the symbol of the sun, which is light, which gives you sight while you're sleeping. This is the symbol of wakeful dreaming, that when you go to sleep, your head should be in the heavens, like a sun. There will be light in there. You will have visions in there while you're sleeping. So instead of saying, I want you to go to sleep and astral project and be a wakeful dreamer, all those words, I just simply have you visualize this glyph, seeing your head laying on it, and then just focus on that as you fall asleep. What will happen is you will wake up while you fall asleep. So these images are gates. That's why we're called gatekeepers. Gates are entryways into states of mind and states of power. And each of these determinatives are gates into thoughts and potencies. Shall we try a few more? Let's see this one, which is a weaver's shuttle. This word deals with weaving, but it has this kind of lightning bolt through it. And it deals with intelligence, because an intelligent person weaves across the brain hemispheres. You see, this is the weaving across the brain hemispheres. That you're thinking by using both brain hemispheres. The thought bounces from the left to the right, right to the left, back and forth like a weaver's shuttle. So you have to have holistic understanding and detailed understanding. You have to have creative understanding, artistic understanding, combined with more logical understanding. That makes you intelligent when you weave data from both points of view of the brain hemispheres. So this is the symbol for intelligence. It's also a symbol for the Kabbalah. There is something called the snake in the tree of life, or the sword, the lightning bolt, or the lightning bolt sword in the tree of life. And if you look at it, if you research this, Google it, the lightning bolt or the sword in the tree of life, you see it has this zigzag shape in it. And this top area, or the top three spheres of the tree of life, spheres 1, 2, and 3. Here we have spheres 4, 5, and 6 implied. And then we have 7, 8, 9, and 10 implied down here. And that lightning bolt that connects the spheres in a certain sequence. This is showing you that intelligence comes from understanding how the ancestors work with the tree of life, the tree of eternal rainbow life. Okay, so it shows intelligence comes from the two brain hemispheres you see shown here by these hooks, meaning you've got to hook your thoughts into both points of view and then weave them from left to right brain, creative to syllogistic brain. Shall we do one more? Let's try this one here, number S16. Let's open this gate of the shaman. So over here, back to 25R, this would be a glyph for the shaman to understand how to think, how to be intelligent. Down here at S, section S, number 16, we have the sun with these three emanations here. Okay? This is a brilliant glyph. The sun symbolizes the life force within you, your chi. It has 3 emanations made of 4 little shapes each. Okay, so here we have the sun. This is talking about the wishing cycle. How to get the life force and the ancestors to bring you miracles. The sun is the life force. These 3 emanations represent, this one here is the winter solstice. This line is the equinox, equal day and night, that's why it's a straight line. And this line is the summer solstice. The sun at the winter solstice, the sun on the equinox, and the sun at the summer solstice. And these different positions of the sun here represent moments of seeding, where you can wish for things, but you have to wish for them when the sun is at these 3 positions. That's when you plant that seed, like the farmers would follow the same seasons of the winter, spring, summer, and fall. This is the symbol of the seasons. You make the wish at the summer solstice, you re-energize it at the equinoxes, and you give it birth in the spirit world in meditation at the winter solstice. So this is the wishing cycle. Now this also looks like spindles of cell division. If you Google cell division, you'll see when they split, they form these spindles on each pole of the cell. So we're seeing here actually the sun creating life, meaning creating the life within the seed of your wish, of your dream, of your aspirations. If you seed them at these magical times of the year, the turning point of the season, the solstice equinoxes, you seed them, the life force will automatically divide them and make them grow, just as it makes the seeds you planted during this time. So instead of saying, I want to have a new car, I want to have a new boyfriend, I want to have a new house, I wish for these things, instead of saying I wish, all those words, our shamans will zoom into this gate in meditation or reverie, and they will see that image, and they will see in the sun here the image of what they want, the picture of what they want, and they'll remember, I've got to see that on the equinox solstice days, and it will divide naturally as cell division happens, like the spindling. And finally, you have here these 4 divisions of each section. That's because at the winter solstice there are 4 longest days, 4 longest nights of darkness. At the equinox, you see you have up here 2 and 2, meaning equal day, equal night. You see here, and then you have the 4 longest days of the summer daylight time, in the summertime. You see how this side arcs out, but this one is straight and flush and level? Because the equinox is a level amount of day and light, day to light, night to daytime. Here, it kind of is bending, leaning out more towards the night, and here it's leaning more towards the daylight. There's more daytime, light hours. So all of that, this is the wishing glyph. How to make wishes come true. So, this is what is taught to you all in the Golden Beetle. This, you learn 13 per week, and the goal is to have you go into these images through meditation to wake the right brain up, to speak the language of pictures, of shamanic visions, to then go to sleep. These are the dreaming images. To go to sleep with an image in your mind. And then to intend for the image to come to life while you're sleeping. That's called wakeful dreaming. These are images of how to dream and be awake while you're sleeping. And once the images start to speak back to you without you calling them, they just appear in your consciousness, you have made connection. You are now a true shaman. Most other shamanic systems have rather random images for you to focus on. Some have mandalas, that kind of thing. But the Kamau, the gatekeepers of Egypt, have a very precise symbology of this. If I cover one more, this crown here, the crown of Osar, the Lord of good DNA, this is also a symbol of an analema. Analema. A-N-A-N-A-L-E-M-M-A. Analema, which is the motion of the sun. And if you look up analema on Google Images, you'll see this shape the sun takes, linking DNA or the ancestors to the tropical solar analema cycle of the seasons. You see? So instead of saying, I want to program my DNA for better health, better resistance, better immunity, whatever, I want to commune with my ancestors, you just look at this image. You put this crown on your head. You think of the seasons of the sun and how the ancestors are born, rise up into maturity, and go back to the spirit world like you. And all that's in one image. So, these are our dreaming images of the golden beetle. These are the tools that I train my men in to be able to astral project, to be wakeful dreamers. And we project these images also outwardly from ourselves into other people. We can project these images into the spirits of people, of government officials, of environments, of forests, and amplify our mental powers. This set of glyphs belong to the segment of the training called Amun-Ra. Amun-Ra means mind over matter. How to use the mind to bend matter, to manifest things. And it's through these gates of images, of determinatives, that the gay shaman of the golden beetle becomes a master of his right brain, a master wakeful dreamer, lord of astral projection, and lord of Amun-Ra, mind control or telepathy. So, again, this is a simple introduction into some of our teachings. We're going to have the 2014-15 cycle begin, as always, at the summer solstice of June 2014. If you're interested, do give us an email, give us a call, or give us a contact through this YouTube channel, and we'll let you know how to receive the details of the training. Welcome to the magic of Egyptian gay shamanism. Dwawend Hotepu.